football is more than just a score or an assist. You have to defend. You have to try to help the team to be organized all the time. So football is more complicated that you might see. But for me, it's all about the team, all about performing well. It doesn't matter, as I said before, who scores, who assists. It's important to win, to collect as many points as we can, and this is my goal in the team.
You recently got appointed as the Kerala Blasters head coach, and what has been your experience thus far? Because this is your first, campaign in India, but you've been to other countries in the Asian continent. But India is, as you know, a different ball game altogether. So, what has been your experience thus far?
I have good experience so far. Obviously, we're in a city that really loves football and really loves Blasters. And I just played 2 home games, but it's absolutely amazing atmosphere at the stadium. And we haven't seen a full packed stadium yet, but still amazing. And that's why this club is that unique, that the fans is not just passionate, there's one more than that.
Yep.
And you have started off on a good note with 3 wins already. So what are your expectations, or what are your plans for the upcoming season? I mean, for the rest of the season.
I mean that we are in a situation that we have to improve. I think we have a quite solid base, but I think we can perform way better. But we are still pretty solid. I think that some Jesus came in late, not completely match fit. Obviously, our captain and one of the best players in the league is sitting next to me here and have been ill. I'm really happy that he's sitting next to me now. So that's then we will see. Everything can go pretty fast. He's a great player, also a great person. He knows his body really well, experienced player. So it can go really fast. But Alex Quef came in pretty late as well, and they also had some injuries in the group. So I think that Vibin is back now as well. So I think that we will be better and better for every single day. That's for sure. And this league is so competitive, and you see that it's almost, every single game is like the team is winning by almost with 1 goal every time, right? So.
And what are the significant changes that you're hoping to bring to the team? Because you inherited some of the strategies and some of this fandom, but what are the personal, changes that you will be making?
From now on, or from
for the remainder of the season and for the duration of your time?
I think that's quite obvious that, it's important for me that you play with intensity and also with aggression, so you can press. But pressing and ball possession belongs to is a connection with each other. So it's like if you can keep the ball higher up, and it's also easier to press higher up. We're losing the ball and you can immediately. And if you look at the pre-season games, obviously pre-season is pre-season, but we also played against teams that we are most of the time controlled the games. And we had a good pre-season. We scored lots of goals as well. Many goals from higher pressing. And it's another story to play against teams that you beat 8-7-0 than you're playing against good ISL teams. And obviously we scored lots of goals in the preseason. We scored lots of goals in Durand Cup. We played 1-1 against Punjab in the group stage of Durand Cup. Obviously, Punjab is doing well, right? So obviously it was not that bad in that sense. Then we lost the first home game. I think it was really pity that we lost that game. In worst case, maybe 1-1, a more fair result. But I think that to keep the ball higher up, to control, I think that Jesus will help us, and this guy behind next to me will also help us to keep the ball higher up, so we can bring the ball back with aggression. Otherwise, you're losing the ball too fast. You're getting lower and lower and lower in defense, and then we have big distance to the goal, and that's not my style. So I want to have the higher pressing and more ball possession higher up, but that also requires players with that kind of quality, like Luna, like Jesus, like Vibin, so also can keep the ball more. So and I see that now. The game against East Bengal was absolutely not perfect, but it was a huge step forward from my perspective.
Yeah, so you touched upon it. We were about to ask that. So, were you a little worried that we provided too much space for East Bengal, especially the second half?
No, I think I think that no. I mean that what you're always worried for, that if you are consider a goal, when the goal we conceded was just out of the blue, and that moment, sometimes in football you feel like, okay, they are putting us under pressure, and they come, wave, a new wave, and there was not the reality. So when we conceded that goal, it was out of the blue. We lost the ball, they counter-attack, didn't make a good pass, empty net. There was no tactical things in that. It was just a mistake with the ball, and they handled it. But the sequences after, they have a good chance. With Dimi had a great chance from the left, just 2-3 minutes after that. And then you see that the team we have a large team, where we was outspread. And that we gave the spaces away. If Dimi scored that one, 2-0, we most likely lose the game. Then the 2 minutes after that, Noah scored 1-1, and that was a game changer. So, but in general, as long as it was like 0-0, we didn't give them too much space. Maybe we couldn't press them that high we want, but we didn't give them the big space. I don't think so. That was my view.
Okay. Yeah. So how are the players catching on with that philosophy of keeping the ball higher up? So there is the chance of leaving some space. The players don't actually follow that philosophy. So how are you bringing the players along?
No, I think that
outside the game.
I think all players. I mean that for me, I want to have a direct. If all teams in the world can absolutely play sometimes from transitions and go behind and counterattacks, and also us. But I think that we also have to rest with the ball. Not just to create things from ball possession. Also, you can also rest from a physical perspective. If you are just chasing the ball, that's also mentally and physically demanding, right? So you need to rest with the ball. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was like this. The definition was this: if you're out of possession, you are defend. You defend, and on the ball you are attacking. Nowadays, the football is a little bit different. So nowadays you can also defend with the ball. Mm-hmm. Defend with the ball to keep the ball, so you can take energy out of the opponent. And I think that we have to go there more. But if you talk too much about just keep the ball, then we get slow and we get can be a little bit lazy. So there's a fine line. But I think that all players want. Agree with that. We have to keep the ball higher up. That's for sure. It makes everything easier for everyone, for the pressing, for the attacking, for everything actually. So I think that's not hard to convince them that we want to keep the ball higher up. Absolutely not.
In the first match, Jesus scored after coming as a substitution, and the second match, the Pepra did the same. Is this super sub is an intentional factor or the timely tactics?
I think it's like this. First of all, that's one of the experiences, new experiences I have from India now. It's like that subs is important everywhere, but I think subs and changes in India is super important. You see also how many games it's like teams score in the very last minutes. You're talking about the starting lineup, but also the ending lineup, and that's the thing. I haven't talked too much about that in my other clubs, but now I feel this is really important for us with these weather conditions. traveling, and also that we have 2 foreigners also on the bench most of the time. So I think that obviously that's good for a team when the subs comes in, and also that they can understand that if all players are disappointed if you can't be in the lineup, but if they can be on the pitch in the end of the game and also help the team to win, it will be easier for them to also to accept that the bench spot.
Right. You have close to 15-14 years of experience as a coach.
More, but from professional, yes.
Right. And you've been coaching across different continents. And could you comment on the infrastructural, the current football infrastructure in Kerala? Is that adequate, or could there be more improvements?
No, I think that in general, I think that the academy is doing a good job. Then I can see that from it's so hard for me to evaluate after those. I mean, I'm focused on my team, right? But if I see a little bit bigger, that I can easily understand that everything starts from the academies. Everything starts from the grassroots. And I mean, when I say the most talented players in our team, like Vibin, like the brothers, like the twin brother Ayman and Asai, I mean that there will be talents even in other countries, right? They are good players. But to create even more, like those guys, and even better, you need also pitches. You need the good academy coaches. You need not just 1 year. It's like a year in and year out, and that's the things that also can help the Indian football in long term. But that's my first initial thoughts after a few months over here.
Often while discussing Indian players, one area of concern that many coaches highlight is about the stamina factor. Has that been an area of concern? Have you been taking any steps on boosting stamina of players?
Actually, we when I talked with our fitness coach, that of course now we work like a professional team and we measure everything, and I think but this is the same topic like I mentioned. If you have good coaches and if you have good facilities, I mean that obviously. I don't think it's an excuse actually, but of course there is grassroots of everything to start also to practice the technical things in right. So you can also, it's not the physical things, it's not just by running or lifting weights, right? It's about also to do the right drills on the pitch and the right coaches and what kind of drills you address and this kind of thing. So I think fitness is one part of it, but football is a really demanding sport, and you have to put attention to it all, but you can't just put attention to the fitness and not just about the technical things. You have to put it together, right?